Hello everyone, my name is Kenton and my teammates are Colin and Will, who you'll hear from in a second. In this presentation, we aim to give you a brief overview of our Save Our Shores competition entry. I'll start by giving a brief introduction of the area that we're clearing and the impacts of plastic pollution. Colin will then talk about our initial ideas, followed by Will, who's going to talk about our design process. We will also cover the safety precautions that we have considered, as well as our evaluations on the project. For our project, we have decided to focus on cleaning up Khao Ling Chung Beach in Hong Kong. We believe that using an automated vehicle to clean up this beach is advantageous because it is quite inaccessible and takes about 90 minutes of walking from the nearest road. Due to factories located in the Pearl River Delta, there is a large accumulation of industrial waste, such as plastic pipes, as well as domestic waste, such as water bottles that have been washed across the South China Sea onto the beach. Plastic pollution has huge negative impacts on the ecosystems around us, no matter land, water, or air. Animals often eat it, mistaking it for food, causing problems such as indigestion, which can ultimately lead to death. Indo-Pacific humpback dolphins are an example of an endangered species that live in the South China Sea, and their numbers have greatly reduced over the last decade. On top of the dangers of ingestion of plastic, the constant exposure to organic pollutants such as polythene from plastic bags also makes the dolphin's milk toxic, further reducing their chances of recovery as a species.
Our first thought was to have a collection system linked to a large box for storage. We started sketching our ideas and adopted design concepts inspired by a fish. The collecting mechanism would be at the front of the vehicle while the body became the container. Next, we put the batteries and the motors beneath the body, and they will be encased in a waterproof box since the vehicle must be amphibious. To accommodate for the difficult terrain that this vehicle will travel on, we used tracks with suspension wheels inspired by tanks. We included a charging station based on renewable energy sources for the vehicle to be self-sufficient.
The first idea for rubbish collection was a liftable rotating rake system with a receiving end fixed on the container, which is liftable so that it can be emptied out regularly. We tried modeling variations of this design on SolidWorks, and while the rake collection system itself functions as intended, the transfer of items from the rakes into the container was very problematic. This led to a complete redevelopment of the collection system. We explored other methods of collection, and a conveyor belt, which is used in transporting waste in sorting systems, seemed like a good option. We shortened the rakes and put them onto the conveyor belt since we knew that they worked well. And with more layers of rakes, this meant that the belt could collect more rubbish. We kept the liftable container and updated the charging station design to fit this more streamlined version of the vehicle.
Our vehicle can be manually controlled by a human with a remote control, and it has built-in sensors to avoid rubbish from overloading. We have also designed the vehicle to be quite heavy and have quite a low center of gravity, so it avoids flipping over, and also the electronic parts will be contained in a waterproof case to prevent them from short-circuiting. This SOS project has helped us develop a variety of skills, especially in designing and sketching. We also improved our computing skills when using SolidWorks, which is a computer modeling program, to produce the 3D model of our vehicle. In addition to this, we learned a lot about the environment and pollution, and we realized the importance of sustainability. Most importantly, we learned to embrace each other's opinion and improve as a group.
Unfortunately, there was a time during our project where everything seemed to go wrong. Since we weren't able to build a full prototype, we realized that our design wouldn't work after 3D modeling it. Because the rakes were lower than the body of the vehicle to remain in contact with the sand, but that meant the rubbish collected had no way of sliding into the rubbish container on the back of the vehicle. Faced with this problem, we attempted several things to save our original design. We tried lowering the body of the vehicle, enlarging the rakes, and even lowering the vehicle itself by changing the suspension system on the tracks, but none of them were satisfactory because of structural weaknesses or impracticalities. So in the end, we had to persevere and create a new design.
If I could change anything, I would have liked to strip the design brief. This would allow people to produce more creative designs and refine them more innovatively. This is also something we probably should have done differently, which is to set guidelines for ourselves so that we can think more creatively.